A family camps along a quiet stretch of river in the Ozarks. No one around for miles. But the next morning, they find massive three-toed footprints in the mud. Each day, the prints come closer. And their daughter starts drawing things no one else can see. This is Ozark National Park, where the natural meets the supernatural. If you enjoy outdoor paranormal stories like the one in this episode, let us know. Follow Ozark National Park and visit the support page on our site to help us keep exploring the weird side of the wild. Thank you. Tonight's story comes from Evan, a father from central Missouri who took his family on a camping trip along the Current River, deep in the Ozark National Scenic Riverways. They set out looking for peace and quiet, just a calm stretch of river, a few nights under the stars, and a break from everyday life. But along a remote bend in the river, they found something else, something that stayed with them long after the tent was packed and the trailhead behind them. Ozark National Scenic Riverways is best known for its spring-fed waters, limestone caves, and old-growth forests. It's beautiful country, but rugged too. Trails wind through dense woods and remote hollows, and stories from the area tend to travel more by word of mouth than by guidebook. Strange lights, mysterious trails, and odd footprints no one can explain. Evan didn't believe much in stories like that until the morning he saw three-toed tracks outside his tent. Here's Evan's story. We'd camped in the Ozarks before, but this spot was new to us. Remote, tucked off a little used gravel road that barely had a sign. It was a primitive campground close to the Current River. Quiet, unmarked, the kind of place you only find if you're really looking. It was me, my wife Laura, and our 7-year-old daughter June. We set up camp in a small clearing about 30 feet from the water. No one else around for miles, just the hum of bugs and the soft flow of the river. The first night was normal. June fell asleep early. Laura and I sat up a while by the fire, watching fireflies drift between the trees. Nothing strange. Not yet. It was the next morning when I saw the prints. I'd woken up early and walked down toward the river, hoping to spot deer tracks and other prints in the soft riverbank. What I found instead were massive impressions in the mud. 3 toes, forward-facing, wide pad, at least 15 inches long. No claw marks and no other tracks. They were clean and spaced evenly, bipedal. Whatever made them was walking upright. I called Laura over. We stood there trying to make sense of them. She thought it might be a bear with a foot deformity. I didn't say what I was thinking, but I've tracked plenty of animals in my life. I've never seen prints that looked like that. Still, I kept telling myself there had to be a normal explanation. Maybe the mud distorted them, or I was just seeing what I expected to see. I wanted to believe that. We didn't say anything to June, but I noticed she'd gotten quieter, withdrawn, almost like she was listening for something Laura and I couldn't hear. That afternoon, we hiked a nearby loop trail. June stopped at one point. She pointed into the trees and said that something was in there. Laura and I looked but didn't see anything, just the stillness of the forest and the haze of heat coming off the mossy rocks. June kept staring into the trees and started to look uneasy. She insisted she was seeing something. In an attempt to settle her down, we told her it was probably a deer and convinced her to keep hiking. That night, I placed a small motion-triggered trail cam near the edge of our campsite, facing the river. I'm not sure what I was trying to capture, only that I wanted to capture something. In the morning, the camera was gone. Not just knocked over, gone. I found it 30 feet away, face down in the brush. The lens was cracked. When I pulled the SD card, it was still intact, but the only photo on it was a blurry image of the river. Nothing else. Just the river. That's when June started drawing. Not animals, not our campsite, just spirals, repeated over and over, and these stick figures with long legs and 3 toes. I asked her what she was making. She didn't look up. She just kept drawing and said, "He walks between places." At the time, I didn't know what she meant, but it made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. We left early the next morning without eating breakfast. I told Laura I'd had enough, that something felt off. But truthfully, I'd heard things the night before. Soft footsteps circling our campsite. The snap of branches just beyond our clearing. I wasn't dreaming. It wasn't my imagination. I sat outside our tent until the sun rose. I can't prove it, but I know something was out there, watching, just out of sight. When we got home, we didn't talk about it. June stopped mentioning it. Laura threw out the drawings. We moved on. But a few months later, June woke up in tears, said she saw him again. She told us, "It's standing in the river." We reminded her we were home, that the river was far away. But she looked at me and whispered, "Not that river." That same night, I opened a topo map to retrace where we'd camped. I don't know what I was hoping to find. Maybe I just needed to feel like I understood something about what happened. But my mind kept drifting back to those prints with 3 toes. I don't know what left them. I keep telling myself there's a logical answer. But the longer I sit with it, the less sure I am. Some stories don't stay where you leave them. The tent gets packed up. The trail fades behind you. But something lingers, unspoken, unfinished, like a footprint that doesn't wash away. When June said, "He walks between places," it didn't make sense. But sometimes kids know things the rest of us have learned to ignore. While recording this story, Evan happened to send a follow-up message to me. We tried to forget it. We thought we left it behind. But last week, June woke up again, crying and saying, "It's standing in the river again." The thing is, we live 4 hours away from where we camped, and that was almost a year ago. Have you had a strange outdoor experience? Head over to oddnationalpark.com and send it to us using the Share Your Story form so it can be featured on a future episode. And if you'd like to help us keep exploring where the natural meets the supernatural, visit the support page on our website. Thanks as always for tuning in. I'm James, and this has been Odd National Park.